What's going on, everybody? Matt back again, this time for another college football ranking. Let's go ahead and throw up the Week 9 ranking. I'm going to run through it real quick. Clemson, Alabama, Oklahoma, LSU, Ohio State, Penn State, Baylor, Minnesota, Georgia, and Notre Dame. Clemson played Boston College at home, destroyed them 59-7. Week by week, they're beginning to look more and more like the defending national champion. Everyone's really been overlooking them when they've been performing very well. Like I said, ever since that North Carolina game, they had that bye week, and they've come out of that bye week extremely strong, blowing out everybody. I predict them to blow out everybody, maybe even blow up my Gamecocks after that game we had against Tennessee. I don't know. But number 2, Alabama played Arkansas at home, also blew them out 48-7. No surprise there. Number 3, Oklahoma. This was the big surprise of the weekend. At Kansas State, lost 48-41. They were actually getting beat worse than that. Oklahoma made a pretty good comeback there at the end. Almost got the onside kick. If it wasn't for the ball hitting an Oklahoma player's knee, then they would have had the ball. Most likely would have scored to force overtime. But give credit to Kansas State. They were ahead by like 21 points at one point in that game. So, yeah, Oklahoma gets their first loss of the season. LSU played Auburn at home. It was a pretty good game, very defensive game. Auburn did a good job of slowing down LSU's offense, forcing them to only 23 points. So LSU won that game 23-20, and LSU stays undefeated. At number 5, Ohio State. They had Wisconsin at home. I was hoping Ohio State would lose, make the college football picture look a little more interesting. But they blew out Wisconsin. It wasn't even a good game. So I didn't get anything I wanted. I wanted them to lose, and I wanted a good game. Didn't get neither. Reminded me of the Clemson A&M game. But, yeah, Ohio State looks like the real deal. That's a very quality opponent in Wisconsin. And they absolutely destroyed them. So Ohio State keeps rolling. Who's this? Number 6? Penn State. At Michigan State, they won 28-7. I didn't get to watch any of this game, but that's a good score. That's what, if you're a top 16, that's what you need to do to opponents. So they are also undefeated. Baylor had a bye, so they remain undefeated. Minnesota played Maryland, destroyed them. Well, they played them at home, destroyed them 52-10. You know, if you're gonna say you're a good quality top 10 team, then this is what you're supposed to do to competition that's not up to your level. You're supposed to destroy them like this. So that's a score that looks worthy of a top 10 ranking. So we'll have to see how Minnesota does going forward. Number 9, Georgia had a bye week preparing for the Florida game this week. And Notre Dame came in at number 10. They played at Michigan and lost 45-14. I watched a little bit of the first half. It was a really rainy game, sloppy weather. But that's huge for Michigan. That's good for the program, good for Jim Harbaugh. He gets a lot of crap for not ever winning the big game. This is a big game for Michigan. The Notre Dame-Michigan rivalry is one of the biggest in the nation. So good for Jim Harbaugh. I'm happy for him, happy for Michigan fans, and it's a good win for them. All right, let's go ahead and throw up the Week 10, starting with number 10. Coming at number 10 is Oklahoma, who just lost. They only have one loss, as I mentioned earlier, to Kansas State. I still believe they are a playoff quality team. Their defense is certainly better than it was last year, and their offense is I wouldn't say it's the best anymore since they lost. You have to give that to LSU, but I still think their season isn't over. They can still make the playoff. They just need some things to go right, and of course, they cannot lose another game. But they have a bye this week, so they shouldn't go anywhere. They should stay in my top 10, considering all the byes we have upcoming in this top 10. Okay, coming in at number 9, Georgia. They play Florida in the, cocktail party or whatever. They have the game is in a neutral site in Jacksonville, I believe. I want to say this real quick. I really wish they would get rid of the neutral site game between Georgia and Florida. I think it's fair if Georgia were to play in the swamp and if Florida were to play between the hedges because everyone else has to do it. We have to do it. Tennessee does it. Vandy, all the teams in the East. It's not fair. And I really believe it would be more entertaining. Who doesn't want to see the Georgia Bulldogs in the swamp and vice versa? Who doesn't want to see the Florida Gators between the hedges? For me, a South Carolina fan, that's more entertaining than watching them play at some neutral site in Jacksonville. But that's one of those things that are embedded in the SEC. I don't know if they'll ever get rid of it, but I really hope they do. Okay, so this game, you've heard me complain about that Florida game that we had where the refs brought them to victory. I'm really pulling for Georgia in this one. Florida doesn't deserve to win the East, in my opinion. So I really hope Georgia goes out there and beats them. The only problem is that Florida, to me, looks like they have a better all-around offense than Georgia. I'm not sure which one has the better defense. I know Florida was missing their two best defensive ends when they played us. I don't know if they'll have them back for this game. But as far as the defense goes, flip a coin. I don't know who has the better defense, but to me, Florida does have the better offense. They actually have a passing game. Georgia at this point hasn't shown any of us that they really have much of a passing game. But I'm going to pick Georgia in this game. Hopefully they'll win and go on to win the East and get embarrassed by Alabama again. All right, so number 8, Oregon. They have Southern Cal at home. Oregon has one loss to Auburn. Very, very close loss. They were leading that game until the last 9 seconds or something. So they're basically 9 seconds from being undefeated right now. So I expect them to win this game. They're in the same position Oklahoma is and Georgia. They get one more loss. Their playoff hopes are done. But I predict Oregon to beat Southern Cal this weekend. Okay, coming in at number 7, I have Minnesota. They are on a bye before playing, who do they play? I think Penn State the week after that. So that's going to be a huge game. And I think that game's at Minnesota. So I'll be pulling for Minnesota in that one. I love pulling for the underdog. It's always more fun. But that's 2 weeks away. Let's go ahead and move on to number 6, Baylor. They have West Virginia at home. Baylor still undefeated. I predict them to win this game. If it was at West Virginia, then I might be a little iffy on it, but I can't see Baylor losing this game considering the fact they're undefeated and trying to make a run for the playoff. Minnesota and Baylor, these are two teams that no one really thought they'd be talking about. No one's really even still talking about them. I think in the AP poll, they're at 14 and 15. So for a college football fan, it will be fun to see them continue winning. And how crazy would it be to see Minnesota beat Penn State and Baylor to beat Oklahoma and the big boys in the Big 12? That would be a lot of fun. But yeah, they play West Virginia at home. I'm picking Baylor to win that game. Okay, coming in at number 5, Penn State. They also have a bye. So Penn State and Minnesota both have a bye before they play each other, setting up for a big undefeated game there. Coming at number 4, Ohio State, also a bye. I can't remember who they play the following week, but yeah, they have a bye week coming off that huge Wisconsin win. And then above them at number 3, LSU, and above LSU, Alabama, both have a bye before they play each other. So the following week, you'll have an undefeated Minnesota playing an undefeated Penn State on the same weekend as undefeated LSU and undefeated Alabama play each other. So looking like a very good week next week. And then coming in at number 1, of course, still undefeated, is the Clemson Tigers. They have Wofford at home. I expect just another blowout, 59-7, like they did to Boston College. So really the big game this week is Georgia-Florida. Hopefully that's a good game because I have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, over half of my top 10 has a bye this week. So, and Clemson's not going to lose. I don't expect Baylor or Oregon to lose. Georgia might lose. Georgia is the only team in my top 10 that really has a chance at losing this weekend. So not expecting a lot of shakeup in my top 10 next week, but the following week should be a lot of fun. So that's my college football top 10 for this week, for week 10. If I missed anything big, or if you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments below. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell for future videos, and y'all have a good one.